Imagine holding a simple $1 coin in your hand, something most people ignore or toss in a drawer, and learning that a rare version of it could be worth not just a few bucks but up to $40,000, even $69,000, and in some stories almost $92,000. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is one of those coins that looks normal on the outside but has created a huge wave of excitement among collectors because a few special versions and rare minting mistakes have sold for surprising amounts of money. The Susan B. Anthony dollar came out in 1979 as the first U.S. coin to show a real woman, Susan B. Anthony, who fought her whole life for women's rights and the right for women to vote. The coin was made smaller than the big Eisenhower dollar before it, and the government hoped this new size would make people use it more. But many people confused it with a quarter because it was so close in size, so the coin didn't become very popular in everyday life. Even though millions of these coins were made, the rare ones stand out. The regular 1979 coins from San Francisco are usually only worth around $1 if they were used in daily life, and even the cleaner ones in mint condition often sell for around $10 to $50. But when you get into extremely perfect condition or special mistakes made during minting, that's where the money shows up. Some of these special coins have sold for thousands, and in some rare price guides and online reports, a few have been talked about as being worth $40,000 or $69,000 or even as high as $92,000, usually because of a perfect top grade or an extremely rare error. Even though these big numbers don't happen often, and sometimes people repeat these numbers as hype, it still grabs attention because the idea of finding a dollar worth more than a car or even more than a small home is amazing to think about. The most exciting thing about the 1979 Anthony dollar is the errors. Errors mean something unusual happened at the mint when the coin was made. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, but when they do, collectors love them because they are rare and different. One of the most valuable errors is when the dollar design was struck on the wrong metal blank, like a dime blank. Since a dime blank is much smaller and thinner, the design looks strange, the weight is off, and the whole coin looks like something from another world. These kinds of errors have really sold for thousands of dollars. Another exciting error is an off-center strike, where the design is pushed to the side because the metal wasn't lined up under the machine correctly. The more off-center the design is, the more money the coin can bring. There are also clipped planchet coins, where a chunk of the coin is missing from the edge because the blank metal circle was cut wrong before it went into the press. All these mistakes make the coin rare. Collectors pay a lot when the mistake is dramatic and easy to see. Even though not every one of these errors will make you rich, the top-grade examples and the most dramatic mistakes are the ones that get talked about for extremely high prices. There are also differences in the mint mark. The 1979 coins have two main kinds, one where the S mint mark looks blurry and filled in, called the blob S, and one where the S looks sharp and clear, called the clear S. The clear S is more wanted by collectors because it was made for a shorter time and is easier to spot. Proof coins with a clear S, especially those graded at the very highest levels, can be worth a few hundred or sometimes a few $1,000s. And this is where the dream of huge values comes from, because when a rare version, a rare error, or a top-grade coin is found, sometimes a sale explodes into a huge number. The stories about the $40,000 to $92,000 values mostly come from extremely rare conditions, top-quality grading, or unusual mint errors that are almost never seen. Even though most 1979 coins you find will not be worth that much, collectors love to check anyway. The idea that something as small as a $1 coin could secretly be worth enough to pay off a car, college tuition, or even buy a vacation keeps people searching their drawers, jars, and old collections. If you want to check your own 1979 dollar, start with the basics. Look at the mint mark. Does it have an S? Is the S blurry or sharp? Then look at the design. Does anything look strange, off-center, missing, or unusual? Is part of the coin clipped, or does it feel thinner or lighter than normal? Then think about the condition. Coins with scratches, wear, or dirt are usually not worth much. But coins that look shiny and almost untouched might be worth grading. Grading services like PCGS or NGC put the coin in a protective case and give it a grade from 1 to 70. The closer to 70, the higher the value. Coins that hit the top level, like MS-68 or even MS-69, can shoot up in price because very few exist in that perfect state. And when a coin is both rare and perfect, that's when the money gets crazy. But remember, even though some big numbers get talked about online, real sales that hit $40,000 to $92,000 are extremely rare and usually involve unique errors or top grades that most coins never achieve. Still, the thrill of maybe finding one keeps collectors searching. So as you look through your coins, remember this: most 1979's Susan B. Anthony dollars are worth their face value, but there are special ones out there, rare errors, perfect grades, unusual types that can change everything. And it only takes one. That is why people love coin collecting. It's like treasure hunting hidden in plain sight. If you enjoyed learning about this surprising little coin, make sure to keep watching, because you never know which coin in your home might be the next shocking treasure. Imagine finding an old £1 coin from 1983 in your drawer, in your pocket, or at the bottom of a cup in your car. You pick it up and at first it looks like any normal old UK pound coin. But then you turn it, look at the edge, and your heart starts beating faster. Something looks different. Something looks wrong. And that tiny mistake might be worth a shocking amount of money. Many people online say that a real 1983-era £1 coin could sell for huge prices like $44,000, $76,000, or even $100,000 or more. So now you're holding this little coin in your hand, and suddenly it feels like gold. And in this moment you think to yourself, what if this coin, this small old coin, could change your life? That exciting feeling is exactly why this coin has become one of the most talked about coins in the UK. And today I'm going to explain the story in a simple way so anyone can understand it. The 1983 £1 coin was special because it was the first year that the UK started using the round pound coin for everyday use. Millions and millions of these coins were made. People used them every day for shops, buses, parking, everything. Most of these coins are totally normal and only worth £1. But a small number of coins were made with mistakes. And those mistakes are what make collectors go crazy. The mistake people talk about most is the writing on the edge of the coin. All 1983 £1 coins have the words Decus et Titamen written around the edge. But in some coins, the writing looks upside down when compared to the front of the coin. Many people say this is a special mint error and that this makes the coin rare and very valuable. When a coin has a real mint error, collectors will sometimes pay big money, because mistakes at the mint do not happen often. And when they do happen, there are usually very few examples. The idea that you might have one of the very few error coins makes people feel excited, and that excitement is what drives the huge prices you see online. But here is where things get confusing. Some experts say that the upside-down writing does not always mean the coin is rare. They say the Royal Mint sometimes makes coins with the edge text facing both directions, so that error might actually be normal. That means many coins that people think are special may really be common. And some sellers online make big claims to get attention. They use words like rare, super rare, extreme error, worth thousands, and things like that, even when the coin is not actually that special. So it can be hard for normal people to know the truth. That is why people must be careful. Some coins online show prices like $4,000, $5,000, even $6,000. Others show crazy high numbers like $20,000 or $50,000. And a few videos claim someone paid over $100,000. But that does not mean every coin sells for those prices. Sometimes sellers ask for high prices even when nobody buys the coin. But even with all this confusion, one thing is still true: people are interested. A real, proven mint error from 1983, especially if it is very clean and graded, could still be worth good money. Not every error coin is worth a fortune, but a true rare one can be worth a lot more than £1. So how do you know if your 1983 pound coin might be a real rare one? First, look at the edge and check the writing. Hold the coin so the Queen's head is upright. Then look at the words on the side. If they appear upside down, some people think that might be the error. But again, that alone does not prove anything. Next, look for other signs of mistakes. The front or back might be off-center, the strike might look weak, the details might look strange, or the coin might have been struck with the wrong die. Real error coins often show more than one odd feature. You should also look at the general condition. A coin in perfect condition is always worth more. If your coin looks like it has been in someone's pocket for 30 years, the value may be lower. If your coin looks shiny, clean, and sharp, the value can be higher. If you think your coin might be rare, the best thing you can do is send it to a trusted coin grading company. They can look at the coin closely under special machines and tell you if it is a real mint error. They can also give it an official grade, which is like a score. Coins with high grades and real errors get much higher prices because buyers trust them more. Without this, most buyers will not pay big money, because they are scared of fakes or mistakes. And yes, there are fake coins and fake errors out there. Some people try to change the coin by cutting, polishing, filing, or adding marks. So this is why grading is important. Now, even though the upside-down writing may not always be a true error, people still get excited because there is always a small chance that they might have a very rare coin. That small chance keeps the mystery alive. And that is why this story has become so popular in videos and online groups. People love stories of hidden treasure. People love the idea that a normal person could find something valuable in their own home without even trying. And when people hear numbers like $44,000, $76,000, or even $100,000, the dream feels real. It makes people want to check every old coin they have. And honestly, checking your coins is fun. It is like a treasure hunt that costs nothing. You never know. Someone somewhere will find a rare coin today. Maybe it could be you. So hold on to your 1,983-pound coins and check them carefully. If you think you have a special one, do not rush to sell it cheap. Learn more, compare your coin to trusted examples, and consider getting it graded. Your coin might only be worth £1, or it might be worth a few hundred. It might even be worth a few thousand. And maybe, if you truly have one of the very rare error coins, it could be worth tens of thousands or more. Anything is possible. And that is what makes this coin so exciting. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you check your coins, and thank you for watching until the end. These coins look ordinary at first glance, just a simple nickel with Jefferson's face on the front and Monticello on the back. But a tiny mistake at the Denver Mint in 1953 produced a few rare errors that today can sell for the kind of money that makes your heart jump. We're talking huge prices, the kind you would never expect from a 5-cent coin. Some of the rarest 1953 D errors can bring $100,000, $125,000, and in one almost unbelievable case, close to $148,000. Yes, that's right, a single nickel selling for over $100,000. And the most exciting part is that regular people have found these rare treasures by accident while looking through old change. So stay with me, because by the end of this story, you will know exactly why these nickels can be so valuable, how they were made, and what to look for in your own coins. Back in 1953, the United States was growing fast, businesses were booming, and people were using coins every single day. The Denver Mint had one job: make millions and millions of nickels for the whole country. But when machines move fast and workers try to keep up with huge demand, mistakes can happen. Most of the time these mistakes get caught and destroyed before the coins leave the building. But not always. A tiny number of error coins slip through, and a few of those errors are so strange and so dramatic that collectors get excited just hearing about them. These unusual accidents are what make the 1953 D nickel a legend. Even though almost 60 million nickels were made that year, only a tiny fraction have big errors. And out of those, only a handful have the kind of rare mistakes that turn a common nickel into a high-value treasure. One of the biggest reasons the 1953 D errors are so special is because the normal coins from that year were not very well made. The dies, the metal tools that stamped the design onto the coin, were worn out and weak. That means most coins from 1953 have soft details, blurry steps on Monticello, and not much sharpness. So when an error happens on a year where coins were already poorly struck, it creates something very unusual. A crisp, dramatic error from 1953 is extremely rare, much rarer than errors from many other years. Collectors know this, and that's why they pay so much for these coins. What kinds of errors are we talking about? Some of the most valuable 1953 errors are off-center strikes. This happens when the coin blank is not sitting correctly in the machine when the design is pressed onto it. If the strike is far off-center, maybe 50% or more, but the date and mint mark can still be seen, then the value shoots up. These kinds of off-center 1953 nickels can sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Another type of valuable error is a double strike or multi-strike, which means the coin was hit by the press 2 or more times, leaving more than one portrait or more than one Monticello on the coin. A clear, bold multi-strike from 1953 is extremely rare, and one of the best examples ever found sold close to $148,000. That is the type of money that changes your life. Imagine holding a coin that was hit twice or 3 times by accident and now it is worth more than a house. Wrong planchet errors are also possible. A planchet is the blank piece of metal used to make a coin. If the wrong type of metal gets into the press, like a blank meant for a foreign coin or a different denomination, then the final coin looks strange, weighs differently, and becomes valuable. A 1953 nickel struck on the wrong metal can bring tens of thousands of dollars, and the nicest ones can move well into the 6-figure range. Even regular full steps 1953 nickels, which means the stairs on Monticello are sharp and complete with no breaks, can sell for thousands because they are so hard to find for that year. But when a full steps nickel also has a big error like an off-center strike or a double strike, that's when the value goes through the roof. To find these coins, you need to know what to look for. The first thing is the mint mark. You must see the small letter D on the back of the coin, to the right of Monticello. That tells you it was made in Denver. Next, look carefully for anything unusual. Does the coin look like it was punched twice? Does the design shift to one side? Are parts missing? Does it have a strange shape? Does Jefferson's face look doubled? Do the steps on Monticello look perfect and clean? These are the signs that tell you a simple 5-cent coin might be worth a fortune. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone camera zoom to inspect the details. Even small errors can be valuable, but big dramatic ones are what bring the 6-figure prices. Another important thing is condition. A beat-up old nickel with scratches and dents will never be worth as much as a clean, shiny one. That's why the rarest, most valuable 1953 era nickels are usually in very high grades. When a coin is in mint state, meaning it looks almost brand new, the value can go up many times higher. That's why some lucky finds have sold for between $100,000 and $125,000, and why that one special multi-strike example reached nearly $148,000 at auction. If you ever think you have a rare 1953 nickel, the best thing to do is send it to a professional grading company like PCGS, NGC, or Anax. They can tell you if the error is real, how rare it is, and what grade it deserves. A certified grade makes the coin worth much more because collectors trust the judgment of the experts. So now you know the story. A simple nickel from 1953, made at the Denver Mint, can be worth almost nothing, or it can be worth more than $100,000 if it has the right error. These are not coins you see every day. They are rare, exciting, and full of history. They remind us that even ordinary things can hide incredible surprises. The next time you go through your change, or your old coin jar, or the box of coins you inherited from a family member, take your time and look closely. Because one little nickel, worn or shiny, normal or strange, could be sitting there waiting for you. And if it turns out to be one of the rare 1953 D-era nickels, then you might be holding a coin worth between $100,000 and $125,000, or maybe even $148,000. That's the magic of rare coins, and that's why people all over the world keep looking for them every day.